Hi, thanks for joining us for the Guitar Center Music Foundation's first Relief for Musicians event. As we kick off, I can't think of anyone who does more or works harder to get instruments in the hands of kids. Please welcome the Grammy Award-winning recording artist, producer, songwriter, philanthropist, Shelia E.
Hi.
Shelia, this is so great. Finally, we get to sit and chat. I know all our photo shoots through the years.
Exactly.
Somewhere, or we have a client looking at the watch, so we never get to really sit and chat. So I'm really looking forward to diving in.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I'm really happy that you're doing this because you're one of my favorite photographers. You've photographed me a gazillion times, and you've done so much, and you've made me look so amazing. So it's really an honor to sit and talk with you. I mean, it's funny. It's like we're friends. We've known each other, what, how long?
20 years.
Gosh, 20
or longer. Yeah.
I think longer. Yeah.
Probably. It's been a great run, and I'm really honored, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you and create so many great art pieces with you. In fact, in your background, up over your right shoulder, that's my photo up on the top right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's funny because someone painted that. They painted that, but it's from the photo that you took of me.
I love it. So Shelia, I want to go back to, first of all, your first gig, 5 years old with Pops. Let's talk about that.
I only remember getting dressed to go to the gig. I remember my mom, I was at my grandparents' house, my mom's mother and father, and she said, "Oh, we're going to go see your daddy play, and you're going to play." So I remember getting dressed. I remember it was all about my wardrobe, my shoes, my socks, my dress. And then I remember showing up to it was called the Sands Ballroom then, I think. And my mom walked me up the stairs, and I could hear my dad playing, and I hear the music, and it's really loud, and it's getting louder as we get to the top of the stairs. And I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. And it's almost like he knew that I was there because he was playing. And right when we got to the door, he announces us. I heard him say, my wife is here with my daughter, Shelia. And he says, we're gonna have her come up and play, And so I remember kind of hearing this, but it was crazy because there were so many people in the room. And I remember my mom taking my hand and walking me to the stage. But it was like everyone parted, like, here comes Shelia. Oh my God, his daughter's gonna come and play. It was like a little girl coming to play percussion. My dad, they lifted me up on the stage. I didn't go walk up the stairs. They lifted me up. And then next thing you know, I don't remember anything. I don't remember playing. All I remember was getting dressed.
Oh, so great. And those little white shoes with the little silver buckles, it's so amazing. One thing that I've noticed when you play now, well, since we've known each other, is you play in these ridiculous shoes. You're like the Ginger Rogers of drummers. Like everything a guy can do, you do better with these amazing shoes on. So I was reading your book again, and when I read that story about you playing with Pops, age 5, and those little shoes, my mind immediately thought about, you had mentioned how they were kind of uncomfortable and, you're getting used to the new shoes. And I was thinking that's something that you've been doing your whole life, playing in these god darn shoes.
Oh my gosh. I started something that I couldn't stop until like a couple of years ago. It's like, I'm taking these shoes off. And I said, one day I might say it, but I don't think so. I'll be wearing these crazy heels. And I'm known for all the crazy heels that I wore throughout my career thus far. And what happened was a couple of years ago, I actually tripped and fell and sprained my ankle, which I almost broke it. And it was so bad that I had to take off my shoes and I couldn't walk. And it was just crazy. Like I couldn't do hardly anything. And I had to wear a brace. And even during my performance, it was hard,
I bet. So as a teenager, I mean, first of all, your family, incredible musicians. I got to see it again firsthand last year in February, I believe it was, when we did the Escobedo family video for DW Drums.
Right, yeah.
man, that was so great. You guys are so talented. And Pops, what a legend. And him being your first influence and growing up in a house full of instruments and music. I mean, that right there shows the power of music and how it can shape a career and why it's so important we're doing what we're doing. Let's get into your teenage years. I mean, that's incredible, like playing with all these great cats as a teenager.
Well, I mean, again, blessed because Pops is a musician. Those who don't know, my dad, Pete Escobedo, amazing musician and still performing. Because of him, I'm playing. But, you know, watching him play and bringing musicians and artists to the house, which I didn't even know, you know, that they were famous. And, you know, it was just an everyday thing. You don't realize the people, the caliber of musicianship that ended up in my parents' home. And to be around that, you know, that musicianship and just listening and them jamming in the house, you know, he would practice to LPs like you grew up listening. My dad would practice to LPs every single day, no matter what. And then he would also have jam sessions. And then once in a while he'd have his band play because there was nowhere for them to rehearse. And so to have music in the house constantly like that, you know, you kind of pick it up. You're just like, wow, this is amazing. So during my teenage years, my thing was being an athlete. I loved music, but during that time it was like I was training to be in the Olympics. And then this one show, like playing with my dad, you know, they were playing with different artists opening up or closing. But this is how I met all these people. And then, you know, early on playing with, you know, Herbie Hancock, George Duke, Billy Cobham, Alphonso Johnson. Uh, I mean, the list goes on. Marvin Gaye, and yeah.
So you ended up doing 2 tours with George Duke, correct?
Oh, more than that. No, I was with him for a long time.
As a teenager.
As a teenager for a long time. Yeah, because I went from my dad's show to I started playing with George. And I met George through Billy Cobham because Billy Cobham produced my dad and I's first record.
You did 2 records with Billy.
I did 2 records with Billy. Yeah, yeah.
Those are really great records. I went back.
Thank you. Playing with Pops, playing with Billy, playing with George. I mean, it was all of that has made me the person that I am, you know, being able to play with so many great artists and really the musicianship, the caliber of musicianship and learning how to be a leader, learning how to be a team player, you know, learning different genres of music, you know, different time signatures. I had no idea. I didn't read music. Pops didn't read music. We learned by listening and watching people play.
You know, you mentioned drumming, about staying out of the way, just finding your place and adding to the music and staying out of the way. I read that quote in your book and it immediately made me think of Charlie Watts. I just did an interview with him and he said, you know, the role in my band is to keep time and stay out of the way. And it's such a common thread with some of my favorite drummers, just laying down the groove and staying out of the way.
Yeah.
So as a teenager doing these world tours, I mean, what's that like, getting on a plane or on a tour bus and just hitting the road as a teenager?
I didn't know that I wanted to do that until the one show that I played with my dad. And then I realized, oh my God, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's like something I'd never experienced before. Getting on a plane, you know, at first time getting on a plane with my dad, we flew to Bogota, Colombia. That was my first time on a plane.
Flying. Oh, the crazy Bogota tour. Oh my word.
Yeah. So going out of the country, you know, flying, meeting new people, trying new foods, the culture's different, everything about it. I just love traveling. I love the experience of different countries. And you end up going to places, of course, you've never been before, that you've either seen on TV or Discovery or, you know, in the movies. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. So I really took to it pretty quickly. I enjoyed it. And my dad did too. And so being with my dad, you know, and to be able to travel with him, it's like,
what a dream come true.
Exactly.
So all the world touring, you never really had a home base. You would just jump from one tour to the next. So that says a lot about who you are and your work ethic, because as you know, the music industry, and we can tell, you know, all the young musicians out there, it's a pretty small group of tight-knit people, and the word gets out, your reputation and all that. So building a solid reputation is one thing that I'm always, trying so hard to do with my career, because it is such a small community. Let's talk about that.
I mean, how you build a good reputation, and this is what I've learned from Pops, is you're on time, which means you're 15 minutes early from where you're really supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You walk in and make sure that you are equipped with whatever you need for the situation, whether it be learning the material, the way you're dressed, you present yourself. Presentation is everything. And Pops is the best dressed. Yeah, hands down, the best dresser in the world.
Yeah.
He's on time. He's very respectful. And he always said, you treat people how you want to get treated, and treat people with respect. So that, as well as being prepared, if there were sessions that I would do or performances or whatever, I would make sure that I'd listen to the music so that, when I walked in, that I would walk in with confidence because I knew what I needed to do. And if I knew what I needed to do, then I would play and enjoy the experience of being there, right? In real time, as opposed to, I don't know, you're freaking out, you're not prepared, you're not going to play well, you're just not, like, there's no flow to what's happening. So, I mean, a lot of that is why I got the call back, and a lot of it as well came from being born and raised in the Bay Area, where there were so many genres of music. We learned from everyone, and there's so many great artists from the Bay. So that in itself, being able to be diverse in a lot of different genres of music has helped me throughout my career.
Plus the Bay Area, 70s, you had Tower of Power, Santana. I mean, some real power, Journey, some real powerhouses coming out.
Yeah.
So to soak all that in, which you are, I consider a soul sponge. You kind of take all that in and make it your own. So I went back and watched a lot of the old videos of you way back. And I got to tell you, you're so tight, like the music and everything, from the choreography to the music, everything is really tight. It shows your commitment to rehearsing and make sure when you get on the stage, you're ready to go. And that says a lot.
This girl, she really wants to be in love with a man. She wants to leave the glamorous life. She don't need a man's touch. She wants to leave the glamorous life. Without love, it ain't much. America, are you ready?
I think that's another thing we can tell young musicians out there. Know your instrument, like my photography. You got to know your gear. And, your reputation is everything. And hopefully the phone keeps ringing. And it did for you. You keep on going with all these great artists. And let's jump to Lionel Richie. I want to know about that world tour. He's one of my favorite artists, and I got the chance to meet him and photograph him once. Tell me about those tours. That's a pretty big tour for you at that time.
Yeah, for me, I think it was one of the biggest tours that I ever experienced as a musician, because back then, playing on tour with Lionel, performing, being in his band, I was not Sheila E. then, I was Sheila Escovedo, and I didn't change my name till after. Yeah. But being on tour with him, I realized, wow, this is the biggest tour I'd ever been on, because now we're flying on private planes, private jets. Yeah. The whole situation was different. It opened up my eyes to what could be. Mm-hmm. And the work that it takes to put on one of these big shows, from lights to production. And again, I've been through the experience with my dad as well, but this was different, and it just, I paid attention, and I've been doing this most of my life. If I see something I like, I try to figure out why it works the way that it does, as far as production, going back and looking at Okay, behind the curtain, you have all these people. What are they doing and what makes it like that? Okay,
Yeah.
well, if I did this, I would do this differently, but okay, but why would I do it? So I'm like a sponge. I sit there, I'm watching, I'm hanging out with the crew. I love hanging out with the crew. You know, it's like we're all family. So I'm learning and watching and, and I was doing that early on as far as, you know, any money that I got when I was a teenager, I would buy gear, learning how to write songs. Okay, what uh, gear can I buy to write music? Keyboard, a drum machine, whatever. A reel to reel. Cassettes. How can I, produce? I want to engineer. I learned, so when it came time for me to do my thing, I know what I want. This is
You
how.
were so well prepared. I know. I was thinking about you in your bedroom recording on 4 and 8 tracks and creating your own music and experimenting before you even got in the studio. I think your major projects, your records to come. So you had that experience, and it all goes back to being prepared. Plus, nowadays we have the internet, and you can look up anything on YouTube. So there's really no reason not to be prepared. So Lionel, so you get off the Lionel tour, then what? Do you remember right after that?
Right before Lionel, I was out on tour with Marvin Gaye. So I did Marvin Gaye and Lionel towards the end of Marvin Gaye's tour and Lionel. I was doing both tours at the same time. I was flying in earlier in the day to start rehearsals with Lionel and flying out to do shows with Marvin. It was crazy.
That's really crazy.
Yeah,
When you were young, you can do that
yeah,
when you're young.
exactly.
And let me talk about, I know one of your all-time idols was Sammy Davis Jr. And when I read you mention that record, 1966, Sammy Davis Jr. with Buddy Rich on drums, that was one of my favorite records growing up.
Wow.
Such a fantastic record. And tell me about meeting Sammy Davis. I mean, that's such a great story.
Yeah, it was incredible when I first heard the record. I think I was 9 or something like that, 9 or 10, whatever. Pops brought it home. I was amazed by the record.
Yeah.
So he was my all-time favorite entertainer because he did everything. He played drums, he sang, he danced, played organ, he did impersonations, he was an actor. He did everything. He was a comedian. I mean, he just did everything. It was just great. Tap dancing, ridiculous. I mean, when he used to dance with his uncles and back in the day, I mean, you can find footage of him. He was just amazing. Overall picture of everything you would want to be as an entertainer. And I was just like, I don't want to be just a percussionist. I want to be an entertainer. I want to entertain people. How can I do that? So I finally got to meet him, and I think I was in London, and it was Prince. We were out on tour with Prince, and it was I think it was our band, Prince, Sammy Davis, and I think Michael Jackson. All of us were in the same hotel, and it was insane because there's so many fans outside. But I was coming downstairs, getting ready to go to our show, and I see Sammy Davis Jr. in the lobby talking to some people, and I was walking by. I was like, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Sammy Davis!" Like, you would think. I mean, I was like 9 or 10, and he's standing right there. How can I not try to just like? I didn't want to bug him. I didn't want to. Everyone goes to him or whatever. So anyway, I went over and I said hello to him. I introduced myself, and he just said, "Oh, it's like he knew me, like we were best friends." And he hugged me and he walked me to the car, and it was I was just amazed. I couldn't believe he treated me like we had been friends forever.
That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about Minnesota. I'm a Minnesota boy. I grew up there. So 1984, I'm a senior in high school, and you come out with The Glamorous Life. Of course, I'm a huge fan. First of all, you're gorgeous as get out. I'm a senior in high school, also a drummer, and that record hit. It was such a great period of music coming out of Minnesota, and you ended up living there for a while. What did you love about Minnesota?
It was just all about, for me at the beginning, because at that time there was nothing around where Prince lived. And I'm like, where in the heck are we? I went there and we started recording, hanging out, having parties, and just was all about music and just, being in the studio, and it was music 24/7, and I loved it. And then, as I started staying there most of the time, I ended up moving there and living there and in Los Angeles. But I just love going there. And then the spring, man, is just the best time. The spring is amazing. And I also lived on this private lake, so I could go out on a boat and just fish. Like,
Nice.
I didn't grow up in the Bay like fishing, not all the time anyway. And the people, and then the food, and and then you meet more people and end up hanging out. And some of my family moved there as well, and it was amazing. It's still amazing. It's like my second home.
That's really nice. Yeah, it's my first home, and I love going back and seeing all my old friends and family. And there is something magical about that state. Quickly, I know our time is running out. You get so many things going on, but Prince, what a loss. What an incredible loss. And you were so fortunate to play and create art and music with such a wonderful, amazing artist soul. Just give us a little bit about that.
When we met, it was 77. So our whole lives we worked together. Basically, there's a lifetime of memories, good and bad, but mostly good. And the music and stuff that we were able to create, as well as, being in each other's lives, and the things that were, that we experienced as people and as musicians, as artists, as what we grew to love and share, and to be able to be in a space where, being a part of each other's lives was just truly a blessing. It really was. It was meant to be.
So great.
Yeah.
And you met at an Al Jarreau concert?
We saw each other at an Al Jarreau concert. Yeah.
The first time? So the beauty of Al Jarreau is always bringing people together. It's something.
Yeah. No, it was a Greek theater. Al Jarreau was performing, and I didn't know he was there, and he was across the way, and I saw him, taken back, like, oh my God, there he is. We didn't get to meet there because I went downstairs and he had left. I thought he was going downstairs backstage after the show, but he didn't. And I met him later when he came back to play the Circle Star Theater, which is a venue in the Bay Area that all the big artists, the big names would perform. And he played there, and that's when I went and met him and said hi.
So great.
Yeah.
So let me ask you some real quick questions, and just top of your head, throw them out there. Just first thing you think of. Okay, one person that you wish you could have lunch with, living or dead, in the history of the world right now, who could you go have lunch with? Who would you pick? I didn't mean to stump you.
No. I would say Harriet Tubman, for real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the favorite drum track you've ever recorded? When you listen back to it, go, damn, I was right on. That's like the best I've ever sounded in the studio.
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it. It's still in the works.
Still in the works.
Favorite color?
Ooh, it depends on my mood. So I'd say turquoise.
Ah, nice. What's the one artist that you didn't get a chance to play with that you wish you had?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh. Tell us about your charity and what you've been doing with them.
Elevate Oakland. Yeah, we're still up and running and trying to continue to bring music and arts to right now in the Bay Area. Elevate Oakland. We want to elevate every city that we can. We've been using local residents who are not working to help assist in the classes and teaching the history and the arts of music and the arts. But right now, things are viral, as they should be. But it's just been an amazing journey thus far, continuing to educate our kids with music and arts because they really want it. And these are the budget cuts that happen first, is music and the arts. So we're really happy to be able to be in a couple of schools in Oakland and assisting and bringing the kids light, love, music, and helping them.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that. Everyone thanks you, and thanks for being here with us today. I know Guitar Center is really happy, and I'm very thankful to be a part of this. And my charity is called the Golden Heart Ranch, and it's a beautiful facility in Agora Hills. That's a permanent housing situation for young adults with special needs, and they have music program there, and art and theater, and it's just a lovely place. And I love doing what I can for them. So, this is all good. We're all donating and contributing, and hopefully we're helping.
Yes, I think we are.
All right, so we have some auction items that you're going to sign. I got some stuff to sign, and we're going to be auctioning these off for the charity. So let's see what you got over there. I know DW sent you some amazing drums and percussion.
Yeah.
There she is.
Oh, here's Ia.
Yeah, you have a black nickel over brass snare drum. Look at that beauty. Jesus, I want that. That's a beauty.
Wow, this is gorgeous. Okay, hold this. Let's I guess I'm gonna
sign that sucker.
Okay, I'm gonna sign it. Oh, with the silver, this looks amazing.
So remember, folks, this can be yours. Start bidding now if you haven't already started.
Start bidding. This is amazing. Wow, that's beautiful.
And remember, all proceeds, Guitar Center Music Foundation, relief for musicians. What else we got? We got some congas, we got some bongos and timbales.
Yeah, yep, and I'm gonna sign this in gold. There's two of these. I mean, the timbales come in two, by the way. If you've never seen timbales before. It's a high drum and a low drum. They're beautiful, and this is the family series.
Nice.
You got it.
I remember doing the photo shoot with these for the launch campaign. They look beautiful as always, and really great instruments. So somebody's going to be really happy getting a set of these signed by you.
Yes, I'm going to sign this one right now, right over by the E. Ooh.
Beauty.
There we go.
It's a work of art now. Those are your Shelia E signature timbales, maple with a natural finish. Oh, and look at these cowbells, beautiful.
And the cowbells we have.
Mumbo cowbells.
Yes, there we go. I'm going to sign the bottom just in case you want to play it. It won't come off. So knowing that the bottom is what I'm signing.
Okay.
There we go.
Ta-da! Lovely.
Okay, and I'll sign the bottom of this one. There you go.
Tap on that. Tap on
that.
And drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
I think I need to hear you play those.
Oh, they're not tuned.
They're not tuned.
Yeah, I'll tune it. Okay. Let's see. Let's try. I hope this will work.
Those are fiberglass, correct?
Yes, these are called Galaxy. I've never seen these before. These are new. I've never seen these. Are amazing. They got gold. Yeah, gold on it with sparkly.
I like them.
Design. Yeah, beautiful. And this is what's really cool.
Oh, the gallery prints. Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone right now is, signing up to.
So nice. We've done so many great photos together through the years. This is one of my faves. It still holds up. It still looks lovely as always.
Yes.
And can I give everyone a little backstory on this? So it's a very complicated shoot. Lots of sparkles, lots of lighting. We spent a good portion of the day preparing. You walk in, full hair and makeup with that lovely dress on. You walked in. I remember the door opened up. It was like a scene out of a movie, backlit. Your hair was blowing. And you walked into set. I got you in, and we shot like 10 frames. Boom. I knew I had it in the can, and off you went. It was that fast.
That's how we have to do it, though. We talked about it, and let me have that real quick. The preparation for this was, again, like you want to do something. You and I talked about it, and I said,
prepared. We went in.
we went in, but so that you know, those who are, like I say, being prepared, I set up the drums at my home, and I wanted to set it up in a way that I knew I was going to stand up, because I didn't want to be behind the drums.
Right.
I wanted to set it up so you can actually see a little bit of everything. So I was surrounded within the drums. So it took me an entire day, at least a day and a half, just to figure out how I wanted it to look before we brought it in, because it was very important. And we made sure we had lights. And DW is amazing. They came in as well. And you having, understanding who I am as an artist and to have the vision to do this is amazing.
I want to give a shout out right now to DW and Scott Donnell, our good pal, who always is art directing with us. And it's one of my favorite pieces. It always holds up. It looks good. It's in my book.
Yes.
Which I'm going to be signing a couple copies for the auction as well. So you're going to ship those back to me. I'll sign them. We're going to frame them up nice.
Okay.
And we'll go off for the auction. And here, oh, what a sweet, sweet photo. Tell us about the drum kit.
Yeah, this drum kit we did, again, DW and Louis, who is one of the most amazing artists there at DW.
Amazing.
He did all the artwork on this, and he took, we had a picture of my tattoo, and he put different versions of that throughout the whole kit. Yeah, that was
Louis something else at DW.
Louis is amazing. What an incredible guy.
Just really incredible.
Yeah.
That photo was for the drum kit, was for the Prince Grammy tribute night.
Yes.
What a special night. Jeez.
It was, yes.
Amazing.
And the drum set was made specifically for the BET salute to Prince. Well, not salute to Prince, but a tribute to him. Yeah. I think it was the year that he passed, the year after, or a year or two. Yeah, after he passed, and that was for that.
What a great show.
I wanted to make something really special for the drum set and the timbales as well that I had made. And again, DW, they're just amazing. Incredible with what they're able to do. John and Don and the whole team, that it's one big family, and they're incredible. Thank you guys so very much.
I'm just so honored to be working with those guys for so long, and working with all the great drummers, all my favorite drummers of the world. And it's really a dream come true. One thing that I've learned from you for our 20+ year friendship, the power of giving back.
Yeah, absolutely.
More people need to get hip. So if you're watching and you feel like you want to give in to a charity or help out, there's plenty of charities in need, and you're doing us a great service by joining us today and bidding on these items. Come on, you got to get a Shelia drum, a signed print, or my book. I'll be signing a bunch of these for you. So again, thanks, Shelia. And thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you real soon on our next episode of Relief for Musicians. Boom.
Yay.
Okay, music lovers, now's your chance to give back to the music community. We need you to donate and bid on the auction items. 100% of the proceeds go to the Guitar Center Music Foundation's Relief for Musicians. 75% directly to musicians in need. 25% will go to support music programs impacted by the coronavirus pandemic.